Welcome to one more episode of our podcast, True Riches. I'm happy that I get to spend some time with you, helping you in any possible way. We talk about spirituality, wealth, and blessings beyond measure here in the podcast. And after so many years of working with business owners, I've realized that just one word could make a difference in the life of someone who is continually facing challenges, who is continually making decisions. And my heart and my desire is that anything that I could share here with you at some point throughout this episode will resonate with you, will help you to make assertive decisions. And when you leave your car or the gym or whatever you're listening to, you could actually say, gosh, you know what, I'm motivated to make the decision that I have to make. I've gained greater insight. I've learned something. I'm enjoying eventually, and I'm going through a transformation in my life because I'm actually putting into practice what I've listened to and what I've heard. And meditating about what to share with you on this episode, which actually now, if you are just listening, you can actually maybe just listening on Spotify, you can actually head over to our YouTube channel, Truth Riches, and you can also watch the episode. Meditating today on what I was going to share, it dawned on me that sometimes you shared an experience once, but there's someone who didn't get to hear it and who didn't get to experience or perhaps learn from what you share. So your story is really powerful. God is actually, those of you who are listening now, all of us, we have a story. And I believe that God works in wonderful ways to trace a journey, to trace a divine path for our lives till the point that others can learn from what you have experienced. And today I want to just share two lessons that I learned from one of the most difficult times in my life. Perhaps you are a business owner who's listening to this podcast. You could be a leader in ministry, you could be a pastor, you could be someone that for the first time you decide to expose yourself to this kind of motivational content, Christian content for business owners, helping business owners to integrate faith into their daily lives. And if that is you, my desire, my prayer is that something good can come out of these few minutes that you're going to get to hang out with me. The experience that I want to talk about, it happened to me in 2020. I was actually on my way to do my Sunday message, my Sunday sermon at the church that I was pastoring that time. And I do drive a Tesla. And as I was driving my vehicle, all of a sudden I collapsed on the wheel. From the neck down, I just couldn't move. I had no strength and I was conscious. But all I managed to say as my head just hit the steering wheel, I looked at my wife that was right next to me. My kids were in the back. And I was able to just gasp out and say, pray, because I knew something was happening to me. I was having a severe panic attack. And thank God till this day, I drive a Tesla. The car kept going on its own. And for the next 10 seconds, it just kept on going along the street. 10 seconds into it, I felt they put me in defibrillators to the point that I felt like they shocked me and I came back to life. And I said, what in the world has just happened here? It was like if nothing would have taken place. I gained control again of myself, felt strong again, kept driving. But the moment I came back to myself, that I picked up my head, regained control of the vehicle, I heard these words: son, give up control. And immediately I knew that it was the voice of God. Immediately I knew that what I had heard were the words of a loving father who was trying to get my attention for quite some time. I remember as I looked at my wife and the kids who were in the back, I thought that it was the last time I was going to see him. I didn't know what was happening. It was the first time that I had experienced something as what was taking place, but I knew at that moment when I heard the voice of God that the whole situation was going to turn for good. And I knew immediately that God had gotten my attention. Someone may wonder and say, gosh, so many things that perhaps could have gone wrong at that moment. So many things could have actually happened. How did that go down? Tell me a bit more about it. My life at that point was going at a very unhealthy pace. I was traveling so much, trying to hold on to what I thought was control, to what I thought that it was the way to a good outcome. I was trying to control my family, my kids, the ministry, the business. And in me trying to control everything, basically, I was trying to run my own life. I was trying to run my own company. I was trying to make my own decisions, going independently from the God who, as a good father, was always and had been watching along the way as my life kept on taking this course. And the first lesson that I learned at that moment, and is what I want to share with you, is that it doesn't matter how hard you try, it doesn't matter your skills or your ability. Control is not the way. Control is not the way. But trusting God is the way. When you choose to trust God, He immediately takes the driver's seat. It's funny, this experience happened to me on a car. What a great analogy. When we try to be in control of our own lives, our own decisions, hoping for an outcome, fighting hard to see how things turn out to be, trying to control other people, trying to control circumstances, and you think you're the one driving the car, and you fighting and you managing, and the reality and the truth is that Jesus Christ wants to take the wheel in that car. He wants to be the one driving you. He wants to be the one driving, being in charge of your life, your company, your family. And He desires, as a good father, that you will trust Him and you will learn how to rest in Him. How does that look like, Frank? Someone might say. What a great question. How does it look not being in control? I thought that always the outcome of circumstances, situations will be determined by my performance. And I realize that trusting God is way more productive than me trying to do as much as I can to see a particular result. I've learned throughout this journey that I've been on that oftentimes in a second, God could do more than 100 years of me laboring and working and perhaps trying to control the outcome of a situation. The only thing that we could do on a good day is to control ourselves, is to manage ourselves, is to get to a place where we say, this is what I'm doing, these are the decisions that I'm making, but overall, I'm trusting God. A life that is led by the Holy Spirit, decisions that are led by Holy Spirit, that is a life that is fully surrendered. When you choose to give the Lord the control of your life, when you choose to say, Lord, you lead me, you guide me, you show me where to go, speak to me, I'm open, I want to hear you, things begin to turn in your favor because you're actually giving up control and allowing God to be the one leading you, allowing God to be the one running your company. Oh, that means that then I don't make any decisions, Frank. No, not really. You will continue to make decisions. You will make assertive, Holy Spirit led, and God guided decisions because you are understanding that He knows better. There's someone who knows better. There's someone who knows the easier way for that deal to close in your company. There's someone who knows a better way to manage those employees. There's someone who knows what's going to happen to the market, what's going to happen in the economy. There's someone who knows the steps to take, the places to go. And his name is Jesus. And he continually desires to lead us. There's a voice that continually speaks to us by way of circumstances or people, situations. God continually longs to have our attention. He looks for moments and opportunities in which He can have our attention to teach us and show us what to do. And I learned at that moment that I had to give up control. I had to give up the control, thinking that I was in charge, thinking that I could live and rule and lead my own life independently from God. God's desire is connection with you. God's desire is to be one with you. God's desire is to lead us, is to guide us as a good father, as a wonderful father. At that moment when this occurred, I realized that I was living my life the wrong way, where I was oftentimes saying the right thing, but I was doing the wrong thing. I was saying, yes, God is leading me and God is showing me where to go, but I was the one that was in charge. At that moment, I yielded to the Holy Spirit. At that moment, I yielded to God. I said, Holy Spirit, you take full control of my life. From this moment on, I'm making decisions differently. I'm coming to you for your guidance. I'm coming to you, Father, for you to show me, for you to point the way in which I should go. And I was actually working this morning, talking, having a coaching session with one of the coaches that I work with. And he was just asking me some great questions. And as I meditated on all of this, I was sharing a bit of some of the things that I've learned through in this journey that I've been with the Lord and throughout the last few years. And it wears you out when you try to be in control. It wears you out because we were not designed for that. We were designed for connection with God. We were designed for intimacy with God, to have a strong connection with the Lord, to have an intimate connection with the Lord, a relationship with Him by which you can lead your life from, make decisions from. And as a business owner, it's so hard at times. It's difficult because you got huge decisions to make at that point. Say, Lord, am I trying to control the outcome? Or am I choosing to trust you? Or am I simply just doing my best, the best that I can, to do what I know is right, and then trust you for the outcome? When I do that, everything changes. I really feel in my heart that there's business owners and leaders, even leaders in ministry, that you need to hear this, because I feel there's some of you who are tired of just going around in circles trying to get a different outcome of a circumstance and a situation, when in reality God is just inviting you to go on a journey of surrenderance, to go on a journey in which you yield to Him, in which you surrender your life to Him and you allow Him to be the one on the driver's seat. I know it's not easy at times. It gets very difficult. It gets painful, even in moments in which we will want to go back to take control, in which we will want to go back to the old way of how we will do things. It's difficult for me when it comes to business, when it comes to my family, when it comes to ministry. It's very difficult. But the most beautiful thing is when you truly learn to trust God and trust Holy Spirit, and you say, wow, this is not how I would approach this situation before, but now I see it from a different perspective. I'm making room for God to do something. I'm giving God full control, full space. I'm making room for Him to be the one leading, to be the one guiding me. And I will trust Him. Whatever outcome it might be, I'll trust Him as a good father. I'll trust Him. I was having a conversation yesterday with my kids, and my oldest said to my youngest, my son, told my daughters, he goes, you have to trust Daddy because He wants the best for us. And I know it's very hard when it's time to trust God in front of a decision, in front of a situation, to trust Him regardless of the outcome. When He's in control, He orchestrates everything to just allow us to experience His goodness, His mercy, even in difficult times. I will make one more, a second part for this podcast, for this episode, to share with you the second lesson that I learned that day. But that first one, at that moment, I said, okay, now this is how I want my life to look like. Before every decision, before every difficult, challenging moment, I allow Him to be the one leading me. Financial situations, I trust Him. The outcome might not be the most appealing one to me. What are you alluding, Frank, to? Trust Him. He knows what's best for you. And even when it doesn't seem the best, if you really yielded your life, your company to Him, your relationships to Him, He knows what to bring into your life, and He knows what to do best at all moments. I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode, and at some point, something that I share with you has resonated with you. I'm super glad that we can get to spend this time together. Feel free to just reach out to me on social media, leave a review on the podcast, a comment on the YouTube channel. If you are a pastor, if you are a leader, part of what we do is we work with leaders in ministry, we work with pastors in ministry, we'll help you, guide you along, do some coaching with you, anything that we could do in order for you to enjoy the abundant life that Christ came to give you. Once again, thank you very much. Remember, if you are a business owner, don't hesitate neither to reach out. We would love to spend more time with you. We're looking forward to what God will do in your life as you yield to Him and as you give up control and you start to trust the one who knows what is best for your life. I know it's challenging. I know at times fear could overwhelm you, but make a decision. I will trust God. I will let Him be the one on the driver's seat. Once again, thank you very much, and I look forward to catch up on the next episode.